So as I was saying, as I was thinking about today's meditation for us, I was thinking about the fact that we're in such unprecedented times and that there's so much change being required of us that change can be uncomfortable. Change doesn't always feel good. A lot of us resist change for a variety of reasons, whether it's good or bad. But we're in a time period where we're being asked to change um, not only a lot of aspects of ourselves, but very quickly, um, very publicly, right? We're maybe feeling like we're being called out on if we're not changing at the speed or the desire at which others wish for us to change. Because for some people, the changes that are being asked of us feel no, are life and death. Just are a matter of like grave importance. And so we're all at various starting points. So anyway, I'm keeping that in mind, and I was thinking about, all right, we're being asked to change. How do we build resilience, right? How do we build those muscles that we need to withstand some of the discomfort that is inherent in changing and growing and moving forward, both individually, but also kind of as family members, as community members, as larger groups of people. So that's the thought behind, right, today's meditation and my intention. So as always, when we start with meditations, I'm going to invite you to find a position that's comfortable for you. For some, that's going to involve lying down. And if you're lying down, you just want to make sure that your head is propped up a little bit so that it's not as easy for you to fall to sleep. You don't always fall to sleep. Sometimes you just believe you are. But either way, making sure that if you're lying down that you're propped up a little bit. If you're seated, that you're in a comfortable position that you can maybe be in for about 20 minutes or so, and that you're wearing something comfortable. As always, my suggestion is that you close your eyes. If for some reason that's uncomfortable or you can't, maybe then picking a focal point. So I always suggest that you maybe identify like your lap or your shoes or a place on the floor. Another suggestion, one that I haven't mentioned, but that's good. If you struggle to meditate because you maybe get lost in your thoughts and your imagination, you feel like your imagination is going into far off places, you can also find a focal point like looking at a flame, like the flame of a candle, or looking at an object that's kind of moving in a very kind of predictable and continuous fashion. So like let's say you have like a little waterfall that is kind of in your home, right? It could sit on a table. This idea of just some sort of movement sometimes gives you the visual stimulation and the mental stimulation that you need so that you can then focus on the meditation. So just another idea. All right. So assuming that you are either in position or that you'll be getting yourself in position, we always begin our meditation with our breath. So I want to invite you to find your focal point or maybe even close your eyes. And just start taking some deep breaths, ideally in through your nose and out through your mouth. But engaging in this breath in whatever way feels most natural for you. And as I often do, I'm going to encourage us to kind of, in our mind, to go outside, right? To find a space outside that feels good in nature. Nature provides so many of us that beautiful space. So I encourage you to envision that you're in some sort of beautiful park. Or maybe that you're sitting under a tree that has really thick limbs and branches and a really thick trunk, but that you can see through the leaves of the trees, and that sun is vibrant and poking through, I'm going to invite you to imagine that every time you're breathing in, you can inhale some of the energy, the warmth, and the good feelings from the sun. And that every time you exhale, you can release any stress, any tension, anything that doesn't serve you. With your inhalation, imagine taking in those rays to the top of your head, down the back of your eyes, down your cheeks and your chin. Again, releasing stress, releasing tension, bringing in a sense of peace and calm. With your next breath, allow that sun to come down around your shoulders, to your chest and your back, and down your arms. Again, just getting you prepared for the visualization and the meditation we will engage in today. Just giving yourself the opportunity to exhale and to release any dizzying thoughts, any thoughts about what you have to do later or what just occurred. And just give yourself permission to let go for a few minutes, knowing that you can take all those thoughts back at the end of the meditation if that's what you wish. With your next breath, allow that sun to come down and around your ribs, the middle of your back, maybe even the top of your stomach. Again, just taking in peaceful and relaxing breaths, cleansing breaths, feeling a sense of gratitude for the ability to breathe deeply. Exhaling out any sadness, any triggering emotions or thoughts. Exhaling out any anxiety or any tension. Your next breath, allow that sun to come down and around your stomach, your lower back. Again, inhaling a sense of peace and calm. Exhaling out frustration, discomfort. Inhaling and taking in breaths for those who cannot, for those who are not with us. Sending out and exhaling out any pain, any stress, any tension. With your next breath, allow that sun to come down and around your hips, your bottom. Again, maybe allowing yourself to reposition and to get even more comfortable in your seat or in the space where you're lying. Again, just taking in the sun, taking in those rays that are filled with all of the positive properties that you need. So allowing yourself to trust, to believe for a few minutes that these visualizations, these thoughts, these ideas, this reality can be helpful to you. With your next breath, allow that sun to come down and around your legs, your thighs, maybe come down around your knees. You can maybe releasing and working out any physical tension and stress you're carrying in your joints and in your body. Bringing in relief, sending out tension, bringing in joy and love, sending out fear and stress. With your next breath, allow that sun and those rays to come down and around your shins, your calves, around your heels, and all the way past your feet. Again, now feeling like you're covered with this beautiful rays of the sun, all the way from the top of your head to the very bottom of your toes. Maybe you even feel like you're suspending. Maybe you feel it, maybe you know it, maybe you hear it, However, you're experiencing this for yourself, it's perfect and it's just for you. So, under this tree, I want you to look down towards your body and I want you to imagine that you're actually sitting on a swing. And imagine that it's one of those kind of old or very natural type of swings where it's kind of a wooden plank and maybe some ropes or chains that are holding up the sides. I want you to really feel your feet on the earth and maybe only the tips of your toes are touching the earth. As you inhale, I want you to feel and become aware of all the anticipation. Maybe even thinking about what it would be like if you were a child and you were on this swing. Maybe that sense of calm and that excitement that you would feel from being able to be outside. Maybe you have an experience on a swing as a child and you're looking forward to what it's going to feel like when you're kind of up in the air. But really feel your feet planted on that earth. And when you feel ready, start to push off. But again, remembering that you're doing this as a child. Notice the effort that is required to begin. Notice kind of the clumsiness that you might experience as you're trying to negotiate and figure out how to push and propel the swing so that your body can start elevate into the air and going back and forth. Notice maybe the struggle or the ways you need to shift and change your body to be able to make this swing gain velocity and traction as it moves through the air. Really feel yourself and become aware of that kind of pumping of your legs so that you can get some air and some wind underneath you and behind you as your body moves through the air. Listen for and hear the sounds of the wind that your body's creating as you're going through the air. The wind of that swing. Again, just thinking about how hard it is sometimes to just get started. The fears or the apprehension that we have, even sometimes for the things that we want to do, for the things that we enjoy doing. And just the effort, the sheer effort that it takes to just start. To start a change within ourselves, to start a change within our families, to start a change within our communities. Before long, I want you to notice that you're picking up speed. And again, thinking back to your child self or a child that you know that you've seen on a swing. Start to relish in that joy and that excitement that you feel in accomplishing a part of your goal. Again, just enjoying that feeling of quickly moving through the air, feeling supported by the seat, feeling accomplished by your ability to gain enough momentum, gain enough energy and inertia to move yourself through time and space like this. Start to feel that swing, that pendulum, that kind of up and down motion get bigger and bigger as you start to go higher and higher on the swing. Really focusing on how far you want to get in front of you, how high you want that swing to go in front of you. It was a symbol for the times that we reach our goals, that we're able to reach our and attain our accomplishments. Remembering what it's like to put our mind to something, and through that consistent effort, maybe even a little bit of struggle, we're able to realize and manifest the things that we like. Allow your body and your heart and your mind to almost to take a picture, to create a muscle memory of what it's like to be feeling really free, while also having the safety and security of the seat and the support underneath you. As sometimes happens though with children as they're on their swing, sometimes there comes a moment when you're on the backside of that swing, of that pendulum, where you realize how far you've gone, where you realize the newness, the new space that you're breaking into, and at times enters some fear, some discomfort. Embrace that feeling. Maybe you can feel that thrill or that ball in the pit of your stomach. Breathe into that sensation, knowing that the more we hold our breath, the more that we resist, the more that our fear increases, maybe the more that our pain or our tension increases in our body. But that if we can breathe through those most difficult and those most intense moments, we can more gracefully pass through and endure that discomfort. We can make space for any difficult emotions, any tears, any frustrations. That as we release and we let go, our minds can open up with bigger and better ideas and solutions. We can join the space around us. We can join in with people around us. Just using our breath to help us to decrease our resistance to change. Knowing that for just a few seconds that discomfort might be worth it. That discomfort of being afraid and seeing that vast landscape in front of us, feeling that threat that we could fall, that we could harm ourselves, or that we're kind of out of bounds, is the exact process of stretching and growing and learning. But that it gets us to that great feeling, that feeling of joy that we feel when we're on the top side of that pendulum swing, that feeling of joy that we experience when all of that wind is at our back, pushing us forward. Allow your breath to start to build those muscles that all of us need during these times to build that resilience to discomfort of thoughts, the discomfort that's inherent in our growth and our change, the discomfort that's maybe inherent in some of our relationships, all for the sake of making them better, all for the sake of making them more equal, and there being more reciprocity in all of our circumstances. So connect to that kid, connect to that feeling of pumping your legs. And maybe you notice that you're starting to get tired because of all of this hard work, all of the hard work that it takes to swing yourself and propel your body through the air. So maybe as you're slowing down, Maybe invite and notice if there's a helper, somebody that shows up to give you a push, to give you some support. Just trust that whomever you envisioned, whomever you thought of, that that's the perfect person for you right now. And allow that person to help you. Allow that person to be representative of your friends, your family, your community, your ancestors, your lineage. It could be somebody that's alive or somebody that's passed. It could even be an animal or another person or object that you're connected to. Whatever it is, allow that helper to come in and to support you as you go through this time of change. Allow this helper to give you good words, to motivate you. Allow this helper to push you on that swing so that you can continue to move forward. Allow this helper to come in so that they can help allay your fears when you're uncomfortable as we're trying to grow and change. And for some of you, maybe you have a variety of people that have shown up, maybe not just one. Again, it's perfect for you. However you're imagining this, however you're envisioning it, this is probably somebody that you feel really comfortable and secure with. And they're there just to help, to support. Because as a community, globally, we're all in this incredible time of change, growing just like these children are growing on that swing, moving through the air, initiating these changes, reaching points where we experience joy one moment and fear and concern in the next. But through our breath, we're able to kind of build the internal resistance and the internal resilience that we need to endure these challenging times both ahead of us and the challenging times that we face as we look back in the rearview mirror. I'm going to invite you to take a few breaths, and while you're on this swing, maybe allow one area, one change that you'd like to make in your life. Allow that to come up. Maybe you're visualizing it. Maybe there's a sound or there's like a whisper in your ear of the information. Or maybe you just know how it is that you're wanting to shift and change. With that information, allow yourself to identify a helper, someone in your life. Maybe you know them or not. Maybe it could even be somebody through social media. But identify at least one person or one community that can help you to grow and shift and change so that you can accomplish your goal. And with your next breath, really breathe in all of the physical sensations that you've experienced as you've gone up and down on the swing. Maybe those feelings of fear and apprehension, and the way that just by enduring, just by sticking it through, just by allowing yourself to pass through some of those challenges, you've been able to reach places of joy, places of exhilaration. You've been able to overcome doubts, to have a sense of, I can do it. I can persist. I can keep moving forward. Even though sometimes it feels like I'm taking one step back just to take a step forward. Allow yourself to maybe now stop pumping so hard as you're swinging through the air. Allow your legs to relax. Allow yourself to slow down on this swing. Maybe thank whomever it is that's been your helper and was pushing you while you were on the swing. And start to find yourself coming to a place of stillness where that swing is not covering so much ground, covering so much surface. Maybe as kids do, you're even allowing the tips of your toes to kind of start to hit the floor and the earth so that you can regain your grounding again. Allow that to be smooth so that you're just barely touching the earth with your feet. Allow the swing to become even smaller, the swing to get even closer to the earth so that you can firmly plant your feet on the earth, that you can feel the support of the seat underneath you. So you can feel the support of the restraints, the chains, or the rope that's holding up that swing. Know that you can come back to this image, to this moment, anytime that you want, just by connecting to your breath. Know that you can return back to these lessons, and that hopefully through this meditation you've been reminded of your strength and your resilience, and that you've been given some instructions about ways that you can change and all of the people that you have around you that can support you. As you're sitting here on that swing, start to move your fingers and toes. Start to move your ankles and your wrists. Start to maybe release the tension that you have as you're holding onto the sides of the swing, either the ropes or the chains. Start to move around in your seat. Maybe start to move your neck and your shoulders, maybe opening your jaw and your mouth. Taking some deep breaths and returning back to the time and space and the environment that you find your body presently in. So now maybe feeling the real seat underneath you, the bed or the cushion. When you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And as always, I encourage you to revisit these meditations whenever it's most helpful for you. I encourage you to try to engage in them daily if that's possible. But until we are together again, I encourage you to be well, to be safe, and to have a wonderful day.